Guten Morgen, moin moin. Unfortunately, that's about the extent of my German, so I'll quickly switch to English, but it's a pleasure being here today. And it's one of my favorite topics that we're discussing, really the inflection point we're at with customer service with AI. I'm Lauren Lee, as I was introduced. I lead our CX sales practice at Freshworks, and I'm thrilled to be here in Hamburg. It's my first time in this city in Germany, but really excited to be part of Service Summit Deutschland. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about why we're at an inflection point with customer service, what AI makes possible, and what it looks like in practice, what our customers are actually doing today. But before we get to the solutions, just a quick show of hands. And maybe if you're too shy, you don't have to raise your hands, but how many of you have actually contacted customer support or customer service in the last 30 days? Yes. For me, it always seems to be the same, which is my airline. And I would say 9 times out of 10, the service that I receive is somewhat mediocre. But there's 1 or 2 instances where they definitely do surprise and delight us. But how about for the rest of you? How many of you guys actually have really great customer experiences that go beyond your expectations? Yeah. And I would say that's the gap that we're trying to solve in customer service today. So it doesn't matter if you're calling Booking.com, Delta, your retailer, whoever it is, it may even be your local bakery. That inconsistent service is what we're trying to solve. And that's what's missing in customer service today. So delivering great service today is harder than ever because tools get in the way, training gets in the way. Most customers struggle with a messy patchwork of systems that make sense individually, but when you bring them together, it ends up being a bit of a Frankenstack, and that ends up being barriers to how we communicate with our customers. It's an issue for our agents, and always a hardship for our leaders in customer service. At Freshworks, we believe software should actually remove friction, not increase it. One of the commitments that we have is truly building service and support software that helps uncomplicate your business. We create AI-powered software that untangles legacy and creates ROI faster and helps your business thrive. And we back this up with 4 promises in everything that we do. So the first thing that we talked about, as you probably can guess, uncomplicated is our main solution motivation. Everything that we do is around uncomplicating businesses for you. We also are all about rapid impact. While many of our competitors have go-lives and implementation periods that are months and sometimes even years, our goal is to really make it easy for you to go live in weeks. And then the thing that's really important for all of us, people first AI, we don't believe that AI is ultimately replacing humans. We actually think it's helping motivate people to do work that's important for the business. And then ultimately, no surprises and transparency in how we do our business. Now, for those of you who might be new to Freshworks, and I don't know how many of you in the room have heard about Freshworks before, but we have about 74,000 companies globally. We have customers in all regions, all segments, and all industries. And we have Fortune 500 companies like S&P Global. We have a lot of governmental agencies as well, and also educational. But obviously, a lot of these brands hopefully are familiar to you, but we're fortunate to call these customers part of our partnership. So now in AI, customer service is obviously not a new thing. We've had chatbots for years, everything flow-based. It's definitely not something that's new to any of you in this room. But I think we're in this point, as you can see in the graph here, we're at this inflection point where AI has evolved from being assistants to agentic. They're taking actions for you. Speed is expected. I think the tolerance level of consumers every day is going down. Omnichannel is a must. Regardless of what channel the customer is reaching out to, they're expecting consistent service. And then leaders are scaling AI across every channel with ROI. So it depends. Doesn't matter if it's email or chat or voice. They want that consistent service across all channels. So the question isn't whether AI will transform customer service. It's already happening. It's more about how you are leading with it or transforming your business. So what's actually driving this urgency? We call this the triangle of pressure. I'm guessing a lot of this will be familiar to you guys in the room. One stat that I really track every year, and we run this benchmark report, is customer expectations and how their expectations increase every year. And we're at this point where customers are expecting responses within minutes. We're not talking about hours or days, but it's truly just minutes. And then, this is something that resonates with me as a leader as well. We're always asked to do more, sometimes with less, but with the same. That expectation for internal efficiency doesn't seem to increase. And then also with operational complexity, agents are often still having to switch between screens, systems, and so forth. I mean, I shadow a ton of call centers, and there's still people who are using Post-it sticks or their own private notes. Some people just don't like using the knowledge base, but there's all of these systems that they're trying to navigate to get the best service for the customer. And all of these problems are the challenges that we all face in customer support, but this is also where AI has the best opportunity. So when we look at these stats, I mean, these are all from various sources in market research and also our own benchmarking report that we do. But AI is really reshaping customer service. By 2029, 80% of customer support issues could be resolved autonomously with AI. We actually have some customers who are already at this level now, but it's only bound to increase. 90% of customers expect consistent service across channels. I think this is a common problem that we face. You can chat in, but the agent might not have context of the email or the call. And so providing that seamless experience is a goal for all of us. And I think that's also an expectation that the customer has. The cost of poor CX is also rising. I think the quality that we've noticed that Forrester Research has represented is that it's actually going down year over year as well. And then, finally, customers also have higher expectations. So there seems to be a bigger gap between expectations and reality. 63% of customers would switch to a competitor after one or two bad experiences. And I think all of us as consumers, I think this would resonate as well. Our tolerance level overall has gone down. So how do we use AI to help solve these issues without losing the human touch or the personalization? And that's where our people-first approach really comes in. At the center of everything that we do is this principle: AI should be people-first. And what does that mean? For customers and employees, it means providing self-service that actually works, that matters, that's not putting you in a loop, that's not having you dial zero for the agent. I don't know what that is, if it's dial zero in Germany, but in the US, everybody just hits zero until they get to an agent. But actually providing instant answers that help solve their problems. For human agents, it's actually giving them productivity tools that they can use to give them real-time guidance during conversations to help solve issues faster, even the ones with complexity. And then for business leaders, it's about providing them things that are beyond just dashboards and reports. It's about giving them real-time insights, what's going on with your business, and giving you all of those data points to help you run your business in a more real-time, agile way. And that's how AI creates value for everybody. An AI that automates, empowers, and enriches. So we deliver this at Freshworks through 3 different capabilities. First, we focus on the customers. We have Freddy AI agent, which is our self-service tool. We have bots. We have flow bots, flowless bots, and we also now have come out with vertical agents, which is basically a pre-built solution that you can use with integrations already built in that's native. And it helps you have self-service that's actually helpful for your business. Freddy Copilot is where I talk a little bit about how AI can help your agents. It helps you with things like tone enhancers and also summarization, but also it helps you recognize things like what are some similar tickets? What are some ways that other agents have solved cases or tickets, and surfaces those up front. And then AI Insights, this is obviously something super exciting for leaders in customer service, but this is more of a prompt-based approach to reporting and dashboards where you can actually type in what are the trends, what are the top issues that come up. Real time is almost like ChatGPT, and it kind of gives you that next answer or the steps, But the best part is it also takes it one step further and tells you, like, what are some actions you can take? Is there a new bot flow that you can build, and so forth? Together with these three capabilities, we create a better customer experience, we create productive agents, and smarter leadership decisions. And each one works well together. So you might be thinking here, all of this is great, but what's actually going on in the industry? How many people are actually going through AI in their journey? And what we found through our Freshworks customer survey, and this is something that we do, we surveyed thousands of customers in our portfolio, is that 32% of CS practitioners are already using AI for customer service. For those of you in the room, can you guys raise your hands if you're already implementing some kind of AI in your organization today? So many? Okay. I love the kinda. Okay. So 32%, and I think that's actually a pretty accurate reflection of the hands that were raised in this room. 47% of practitioners also are planning to implement in 2025 some kind of AI. We're already in November. Pretty much the year is over. And so we're at this point where almost 80% are using some kind of AI in some shape or form. And I think, I just came out of our customer advisory board last week in San Francisco. And it's interesting, right? Everybody is in a different journey. Some people are already at the 80% deflection point, and others are still wondering how they get started, how they take that first step that works for their business. And it's definitely a process that's not a one-size-fits-all. So there's a lot of data points that I've shared in this presentation, but I think maybe just to kind of hit it home, I wanted to highlight one customer use case that we have, Brookside. They're a leading outdoor retail company. I don't know how many of you guys have used Brookside in the past, but they specialize in mountaineering and adventure gear. And for them, they had a challenge because they were representing and selling to the DACH region the different versions of German. They were also trying to go into English, Spanish, French. There were so many different languages that they were trying to manage. And at the time, they were doing it manually. All the agents had to kind of translate on their own to make sure they were getting the right answers. And on top of that, they were still doing a lot of manual tasks when it came to translating tickets, routing inquiries, and handling repetitive tasks that came in through them with some very routine inquiries. And when they came to Freshworks, we were able to help them through Freddy AI-powered translations, which basically minimize a lot of the manual work that they had to do. They also automated routing and ticket processing, reducing repetitive tasks. And then we were also able to help them with AI-assisted response tools. And they also, one of the reasons why they're one of our favorite customers is because they're using us across both internal and external support. So they're using us on the Freshdesk side for customer support, but they're also using us on Freshservice for employee experience. So they've taken a platform approach with us. And now all of that has resulted in 75% reduction in manual translation, 80% positive agent feedback, and more than 250,000 tickets auto-triaged with AI. So I love this quote because I think this really represents where we stand as a company. Roman, who is our head of customer care at Brookside, said, "With AI-powered automation, we transform our customer service, enabling agents to focus on what matters most." And I think this really stands true to how we think about AI at Freshworks. So just to kind of wrap up this time, I think the key point is the future of CX isn't more. As much as we would love to have more budget, more tools, more people, the reality is for most organizations, that's just not going to happen. It's about being smarter with what we have and being less complicated with the tools that we use. And I think the time is now. We can be a leader. We can transform. And no matter where you are in your journey, I think the bottom line is Freshworks is here to help. And we'd love to kind of help you join our logos that we showed earlier today. With that, I'd love to kind of open it up, hear a little bit about your own AI experiences or any questions you might have. I know you were doing this on a couple. I'd love to learn a little more. But any questions or any feedback on AI as a whole? Oh, okay. 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 And while we're doing that, I know I shared a lot of stats. I just wanted to put a link if you're interested in actually looking at some of the data that we're collecting year over year for customer expectations. Which people-first AI capability is currently providing the fastest noticeable relief for service teams? So for us, I definitely think it is Copilot. Copilot has it really increased productivity over time for agents. We have one customer, a large furniture retailer in the US, where they've seen 80% productivity just through using Copilot. And a lot of this is because their agent force was a little bit more senior. They weren't as skilled in technology or using external tools, but Copilot helped bring that all in together, and they've been able to see really good success.
Good. The next question is, many companies have data silos. Does it hinder
Does it hinder implementing AI? So yes, integrations is definitely a big factor in AI, obviously. The data that we have is the source of how good our AI is, right, ultimately. At Freshworks, we have a number of pre-built integrations that helps make that easier. But yeah, it definitely depends on the system that you're thinking about implementing or integrating into.
Let's see. Yeah, now it's working. Coming back to your case study, how much or how long did it take for Berkside to implement the Freddy AI? Can you maybe share a little bit more about the process?
Yeah, for Berkside specifically, I think it's a little bit. I don't have that detail specifically, but in general, one of the things that we do is we have an AI advisory program. So when we go to sell Copilot or AI agent, what we do is actually take you through a discovery process, because we do realize what works for one company may not work for another. And we actually go through that process with you. It's just a 1-week engagement with our solutions engineering team. And then from there, I think most of our customers actually go live anywhere, extreme cases, 2 weeks to about 3 months.
Okay, 2 weeks is pretty quick, but
2 weeks is crazy. I would not recommend it for anyone. Yeah.
What are the use cases that can be implemented within 2 weeks?
Actually, it was a full-on deployment of customer service omnichannel. Yeah, for about a 200-agent contact center. It was very fast, and again, I would not recommend it, but we were under tight timelines, and we were able to get it done.
And was the company already advanced? Is that something that really also reflects on the timing?
Yeah, the company, I would say, was about mid-stage in their technology journey, and it was something that we did an MVP process. So we had the basic setup first, so the main channels like telephony, email, chat, and social, and then we looked at integrations as a phase 2.
Can you maybe also share some pitfalls or some challenges, and maybe on a use case or a different client?
Yeah, I would say one that's really relevant, and just because I'm coming out of, we just had our flagship customer event, is a lot of customers don't know where to get started with AI for their business. And I think often when you try to do it on your own, that's where it becomes a little bit more challenging. And that's where, at Freshworks, we've been a little bit more hands-on about how we approach customers and their journey. And even for Copilot, like, what features are you actually looking for? For AI agents, what is your end goal? Is it just deflection, or is it something else? Usually it's something else, but really digging into the details there.
So really getting ahead of the problem and first discovering the problem.
Yes.
Here's another question. I noticed that the decrease in customer satisfaction correlates to the increase in AI usage. Can you comment on this?
That's an interesting question. And I think that goes back to the AI that we're used to, where even for me as a consumer, I often kind of shy away from using chatbots. But I also think that's where chatbots have gotten a lot better over time. I think we're seeing improvements even on a monthly basis at this point. And I think the biggest thing to consider is, as a company, how willing are you to try out new things in AI. I know a lot of companies have AI governance organizations that help you throughout this journey, but I think it depends on where you are as a company.
This is also one question I have. Who is most exciting within a company to implement your solution, and who has the most fears? Who do you need to?
Oh, this is a trick question. I would say within our company, it's actually a mix. So we have really great stakeholders in IT who are excited. We have a lot of CIO support across the board. But I will tell you, as soon as I show Freddy Insights, that's where the leaders really perk up. And I think at the end of the day, it's also about the community that we build around our customers.
Okay,
yeah?
Great. I think we still have some minutes left. Is there anything you would like to let the audience know and to share?
Yeah, I think overall, I feel like I say uncomplicated a lot, but we really do truly take that to heart. I will say the one thing I will just kind of put a plug out there for is our booth is literally right outside this stage. So if you want to come by, look at a demo, kind of see what we're up to. If you're new to Freshworks, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So I'll just throw that plug out there.
Great. So I look around. Any questions left?
No.
Good. Thank you so much, Lauren.
All right. Thank you.